Today we are going to talk a little bit about goals and aspirations in boxing or maybe martial arts in general. So, for Lucas, right, actually, boxing is not so straightforward like other martial arts. Like, for example, you in Taekwondo, you have the belt system, right? So white,
Mm-mm.
green, yellow, blah, 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 and all the way to black. There's a goal for you, but not so much for boxing. Boxing is more you kind of do what you want, right? So,
Yeah,
you know,
I,
how do
mm.
you really set goals and aspirations in this sport?
It's actually quite funny because actually my girlfriend, she actually her mom actually asked me like she wondered lah, like like taekwondo, BJJ, you have your belts lah, like you mentioned but how do you even gauge whether you succeeded in boxing, that sort of thing. Yeah. So I guess like to me, right, for my goals and aspirations in boxing is really when I take a fight, I don't think about like, oh, uh it's not so much so of how I'm gonna fight. It's more of like why I fight. You get what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, yeah, so it's really when it comes to uh what you want to achieve in boxing, it really boils down to yourself in terms of like where do you see yourself going? Because for one, right, when it comes to taekwondo and BJJ, the thing about a belt certification and such, right, is that there's not really like don't get me wrong lah, like I understand that there's a competitive aspect to it as well, but there is also an artistic format. So the thing is
Yep.
like the belt certification is sort of it's a mark of like your achievements, as a mark of your progression, especially for BJJ. But for boxing is everything, it boils down to whether you do a solid performance in the ring, you know you won't
Mm-hmm.
really have an assessment test of how good you can throw the jab. You get what I mean? Unless it's proven in a ring lah, where against a uh an equal opponent, who has his own tricks up his sleeve lah. Yeah, so I really feel like the best way to know whether you succeed in the ring is really like it boils down to what you want to achieve lor. It's something that's got to do with the heart lah, like how much you want it. Yeah. Then from there, of course lah, then I can start talking about the tangibles. I can start talking about the real achievements, like your national championships, your international winning international fights, building your record, you know, building a very consistent amateur record, very by consistent, I mean like in terms of clocking a large amount of fights, like clocking many bouts and winning most of them, building your experience. That is what like tangible success is lah. Yeah. Mm.
But I'm kind of curious because yeah, like you said, for taekwondo, all this you sort of have milestones like the different belts, right? And
Mm.
actually, that's kind of like a gamification, like, oh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
if you train for this long, or you can perform certain techniques
Yeah.
satisfactory, like to good satisfaction, then you'll get a belt. And this is over. So maybe from a white belt to a black belt, it takes like what, 3 years for taekwondo at least. And
How long
then,
did you?
oh, it took me 3 years. Yeah,
Mm. Mm.
and yeah, it's measurable because like along the way you have hit certain like learning outcomes, right?
Mm.
And it keeps you motivated. It keeps you wanting to go to the next step. It's clear cut. But what I see in boxing, because it is not just reliant on you, right? Whereas
Yeah.
in taekwondo, everything is reliant on you. Like how much you train, how much you do. As long as you perform it during the grading day, you get it. But you can train your ass off in boxing and then prep yourself for a fight. And when you get into the fight, misplay and damn, you got knocked out.
Mhm.
Like how do you deal with that? Like I can't imagine, working so hard and just failing because of like a minor mistake or something, and then you have nothing to show for what you have sort of built up over the past few months or
Yeah.
past few years.
I really think it's like it's not really a saying, but it's more of like just the concept of how, people don't see the effort that you put in behind the scenes. They only see what happens in the ring, you know. And that kind of affects quite a number of people, honestly. Because like it just sucks to know that like you have to like I guess it's really it's the process lah. It's more of the process than the outcome ah. That is for you, right? In the eyes of others, right, people only care about the outcome and not the process. So you is where this is where you have to realize like, uh it's more of like a mental game in your mind already, right? Like you really need to it's more about perspective, seeing like, you know, whether your training was fulfilling, whether you train to your fullest, and with zero regrets before stepping into the ring. And no matter the outcome, when you look back, right, you will know that like, hey, I sparred with many different sparring partners, right? I have exposed myself uh to different styles of boxing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a slight error in judgment in the ring led to a loss in my books. But
Mm-hmm.
if I really trusted the process and I really like lost myself in the process, like I really enjoyed it. I I was obsessed with getting better. I don't think that one loss will affect you in the aspect affect you negatively. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
more like, yeah, it's a process.
Mm,
If you believe in the process, right, the outcome doesn't really matter.
yeah,
And
that's
in the
that's quite
eyes of
interesting.
others, the outcome
Mm.
matters, but what truly matters is how you see it, not how others see it. You get what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of boils back down to martial arts being like mastering yourself, mastering the mind.
Yes.
I think
Yes.
that plays a part also. Also this is quite interesting because coming from taekwondo and judo, that kind of background where
Mm.
it's belt tiered and there's a test for belt. And I'm actually starting a journey in BJJ, which is I would say
Oh,
quite similar to boxing actually because
yeah.
there are no tests for the belt. The test
Oh,
the
yes.
the belt the belts are given to you when uh the coach finds that your performance is good or you've been submitting people or you
Mm.
are capable of teaching techniques to newcomers. So I
Yeah.
think that is quite interesting lah. Like I mean, it's definitely a quite a drastic change because now you don't have something measurable.
Mm.
It's something subjective now. So yeah, that's just quite interesting.
And
Okay,
and and
so
it's also, how in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is sort of like the hardest martial arts to get a black belt. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Like,
So they say. Guess I'll find that out.
yeah, but quite exciting to see that you are, like, how in the aspect of like certification of belts, right? Like you already gotten your black belt in Taekwondo. Now you
Mhm,
are moving on to like a different uh a different discipline, that
mhm.
is also like very rooted to progression lah, like I said, like tangible progression lah, like that kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
Hmm.
Yeah. Although it's not as strict as Taekwondo, but yeah, I think it's more kind of like boxing than Taekwondo really. But yeah, like you said, the people there they don't care about belts. I think
Hmm.
from what I heard. Yeah, it's just basically just to show that you have attained this level of proficiency, and you can
Yeah.
represent that belt. That's the most important.
Yeah, that's true lah. And like, it's quite interesting because like you said how like it gives you it allows you to track your progress when it comes to belts, like, or it comes to certifications. But it's
Mhm.
like what's your take on like gyms, like I may be sidetracking a bit lah in terms of goals, but it's like what's your take on like gyms who want to attract more members, like by giving out these belts easily, like, you get what I mean?
Oh yeah, I get
But
what you mean. I think ultimately it will just reflect back on them because okay, I don't know about the other arts, but I know for BJJ, the practitioners often when they go overseas and stuff, they
yeah,
visit other gyms,
mm,
and it's customary that they wear their belt from the gym that they got it from. So regardless of where you're from, if your gym has given you a black belt, you have to wear the black belt. Like you cannot go to another country and then say, "Oh, I'm white belt here." Like it doesn't work that way.
yeah,
So if your gym gives out black belts for free, then when you represent that gym in a different in a foreign gym, then
yeah,
you're gonna get found out, and then it's not gonna
mm,
look good on the gyms. So yeah, but then there's the other side of the coin where the gyms milk money and then keep you
yeah,
at a lower belt and
correct, correct.
and stuff like that.
I think the same thing can be said in boxing gyms also because it's like if they really wanted to make good money out of you, they can literally take you in, promise you that they're going to, to let you fight in 3 months or like in 2 months, in 1 month even, and then like like you will fight, you end up fighting, and if things go south, then like it reflects badly on the gym lah. You get what I mean? Yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
mm, yeah,
So
that's why.
actually, beyond our respective arts, what are some aspirations you wish to get out of boxing? Like not just winning and stuff like that. Like what do you
Mm.
want to get from boxing?
I like to see boxing as a sort of like a place where I can go into my like flow state where I can feel relaxed and calm. Like I guess like since we are living in Singapore, the high paced how to say the high paced style work life, the constant need to cope with the cost of living, right? Like things can get very stressful lah, and I want to see boxing as sort of a constant escape, as an outlet lah for me to to work out, and to also sort of like widen my aspirations to give me more things to look forward to. Yeah, that's really how I see it.
I see. Okay.
Mm.
What about those tournaments? Like how do you see, winning the national championships or like
I
individual sparring in your gym? Like how do you see that?
I think personally for me, definitely that's my end goal, right? Is to make an impact in the boxing, in the Singapore boxing world lah, for now lah, right? Before even Asia. But the thing is also, I also need, I'm s- not really like a realist, but it's more of like, uh I take it as it goes, you get what I mean? I
Mm-hmm.
need, like, before I fight, or before I take up before I plan any goals, I have to be realistic about it in terms of the training. If I'm able to commit to the training, if I'm able to sacrifice my time to work towards that goal, uh so for me now, it's more of finding reasons as to why I fight. Yeah, because if I say like, oh, if I want to go to every tournament, if I want to sign up for every fight, I may not be fully prepared for each bout lah, if I don't commit my time, my hours, and my mind to it. Yeah. So definitely the end goal would be eyeing at nationals 2025, right? But uh I want to see how my career uh ties in with my boxing aspirations as well. Because if it's too overwhelming, if I'm taking in too many things from my studies, from my work, then boxing ultimately might have to take a backseat for me. You get what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, I think as with many other things in life, like you set long-term goals, but then
Yeah.
a lot of things will change along the way, and you kind of just adapt.
Mm. It's all about
Yeah,
living in the moment,
yep,
being
yeah,
present, being present with what you are doing right now. Yeah.
yeah, that's
Then you will.
exactly right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So that's it for today's episode, and stay tuned for the next one because we'll be talking about how to become a better boxer in the ring. And we're gonna go beyond just techniques. We're gonna go into mentality as well. So, be sure to catch that, and we'll see you in the next one.
See you guys. Bye.